Welcome, people. I'm L1 the Philosopher, Link, and I'm here to talk about the 1990s. Now today, anime is big business. Around the world, streaming everywhere. But in the 1990s in America, really wasn't so. It was still building its legs here. So we're not here to talk about what we feel is the best anime. We're here to talk about what is the greatest anime of the 90s. The anime that was the face of the culture. The ones that shaped generations to come. What is the Mount Rushmore of anime in the 1990s? The first anime I want to talk about is special to me. Made me who I am. It's the anime that changed my life. Definitely for a young male in Philadelphia. And that's Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is a Mount Rushmore because how it shaped everything, how we view characters in next generations, right? Goku is our first shonen character that we seen over here in America. Changed everything. It came out in 1996 over here, and you really can't get it anywhere. It was on syndication, so it depends on which network bought it to have the rights to air it. Depends on where you lived at. In Philadelphia, we had WB. So I saw it every morning at 5:30 right after Sailor Moon. And then it really became one of the faces of the culture when it hit TOONAMI. Cartoon Network came out around 1992, and it came up with TOONAMI, I believe, in the 96. But when 98 hit, after they brought on Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z was the show that skyrocketed. Took it to the next level. In the early 2000s, it broke records. But we're here to talk about the 90s. But in the 90s, it dominated, and it was one of the faces of the culture. This next anime is just going to piggyback off of what I just said. For a young male in Philadelphia, I said Dragon Ball Z was for me. But what if he was a young lady? Then the show for you was Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon had a similar path to Dragon Ball Z, but it was even stronger in the beginning. Actually, I feel like Sailor Moon was a little more popular when it first came out. It came over here in America as well, too. It was around 95. It went through the same problem with syndication. Different was where you was at, different part of the country. Over here as well, WB was a part of the syndication in Philadelphia. So I woke up 5 o'clock in the morning, I watched Sailor Moon. Right after that, I watched Dragon Ball Z. Then I head my butt to school. Now, Dragon Ball Z came later to Sailor Moon when it comes to TOONAMI. It hit TOONAMI first and hit a big boom that made them think we need more shows like this. What else popular? And it went for Dragon Ball Z. So again, for any young girl who got into anime in the 90s, this was the show for you. How could you not? How could you resist? She was fighting evil by moonlight, and she was winning love by daylight. And she was never running from a real fight. She is the one named Sailor Moon. And that's why she's one of the face of the culture. This next one is more interesting. Like I said, this is not my favorites list. Anime I just watched, I'm like, this is some of the best anime I've seen. No, we're talking about greatness. It's a different ilk there. If you want to have a list talking about the greatest faces of anime of the 90s, well, you can't have that list without talking about Pokemon. Pokemon changed the world. Pikachu became Mickey Mouse for anime. He was the logo. People didn't even realize it was an anime. That's how popular it was. I think people just don't understand how big Pokemon really is, even today. It's the highest gaming franchise of all time. Halo fans, I was about to say Ghost of Tsushima, like I had multiple games. Your Marios, your Zeldas, your Crash Bandicoots, your Spyros. All the games were multiple, even Tetris. Pokemon sold more than anybody else. Pokemon Go had the world crazy a couple years ago. Well, more than a couple years ago. Sorry about that. But back to Pokemon the anime series. Pokemon anime series came out in America in 1998 at the end. But it came out in Japan in 1997. I don't know if you heard me. Let me bring that back. It came out in Japan 97. Came out here 98. let you know how big the property was. Dragon Ball Z debuted in Japan at 89 and came over here at 96. That's a gap there, sir, if you didn't notice. Gap, big gap, not like the Old Navy, the store gap. No, an actual gap, not the store itself. Sailor Moon came out in 92, came over here in 95. I mean, that was a shorter gap than Dragon Ball Z, but nothing shorter than Pokemon. And back in them days, I guess the closest thing we got to the simulcast, you know what I'm saying? You had to wait years to get anime. And that's how big Pokemon was. I mean, if you even listen to the beginning of the greatest theme song of all time in anime history, Pokemon is, I want to be the very best that no one ever was. And I would say for Pokemon, that's what it did. And that's why it's one of the faces of the culture. Before we get into the last one, I want to drop a little nugget of appreciation, my honorable mentions as you will, of some animes who didn't get the proper appreciation because we was too stuck on our Sailor Moons and Dragon Ball Z's. And one of them is Rurouni Kenshin. Great anime. One of the best I've seen, man. The reverse blade idea about what happens after war and living your life with guilt and don't know what to do next, right? You're living by a code that you feel like, it can stop you from tapping into them demons you don't want to talk to no more. And of course, arguably the GOAT, Yu Yu Hakusho. That's my top 5 favorite anime ever. It's just the other ones have pushed the culture further in a media sense in America. These are the animes that we've seen and that represents the 90s at the fullest. Okay, so let's get into the last one. Let's switch it up a bit. We've been talking a lot about great anime shows, but what about cinema? Yeah, I said it. Cinema. This one is special to me. It came out in 1997. It's the 9th film from a studio they call Studio Ghibli. And this movie is Princess Mononoke. I really don't know what to say about this that you probably haven't heard. But it's nice to see a movie that's not afraid to talk about war in a certain way and showing you man versus nature and how we destroy in the forest and have duality between the characters. How the villain is not really a villain. I mean, she is, but she has her reasonings and you can understand some of them. She's a hero to the people in her village, but to the forest, she's a villain. And the same thing with our hero, who we follow. He's really not a true hero. He just understands balance, and things need to be balanced a certain way for us to all live. And the struggles between that, and having to choose a side between the forest and humans when he just wants everybody to be together. And he's forced to make a decision at the end. It's one of the best movies you ever can watch, but it's one of the best movies that represents 90s animation. So before I end it off, I want to give a quote from Princess Mononoke. Give you 2 of these bad boys, you know what I mean? Life is a struggle. It's hard. The world is cruel. But still, you can find a reason to keep living. You can't change fate. However, you can rise to meet it if you so choose. And that's why Princess Mononoke is one of the faces of the culture. I want to say thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Please click on the other videos, show a little love to the channel. And I'm going to be dropping more videos like this, so I hope y'all like it. And comment under it. Say, what is your 4? What is the 4 anime you feel like represented the 90s? What was the Mount Rushmore of anime? And I catch y'all in the next video.